Avengers! Assemble. Smash!
What's up, Avengers?
What's up?
Oh
morning,
yeah,
friends.
we out here. Avengers, the whole team has finally assembled.
True.
We
Been a little bit. It has. When was
to have
the
you back
last
in
time we had
action.
all four of us?
Yeah, it's been a while. And then
Well, the quests that we were on weren't as cosmic as required all the Avengers.
It's true.
But now,
We were doing side quests. We had to like level up the armor and get better weapons and XP and shit. And now here we are.
Yeah.
many things at play.
Always. Oh, how's everybody doing on this fine Monday evening?
Harry's hair looks phenomenal.
See, I got a haircut a couple weeks ago and I thought the guy really fucked my shit up. It's all different lengths, so I can't fucking put it up normally like I normally do. Like the sides are too short for me to put it up, and if I just put up what's on top, I look like a fucking idiot. So I'm gonna dispute that one, but I appreciate the
Was your
compliment
barber
nonetheless.
playing college dropout while he was like Edwards?
No, he was like an old ass Russian dude, and like normally I go to the younger guy there, but he was busy, so I was like, all right, I'll take my chances with this guy who's probably his uncle or father or something. And lesson learned. Ever since my original barber from like growing up died, it was an old Italian guy. From when he died, I've just basically been struggling to find a good, consistent barber. It's been like 4 years now.
I got a good barber.
To introduce myself, my name is Kerry Stellar. I am a hair connoisseur. I've been doing barbering since I was 18 years old, really, as a apprentice. I have my license since 1997. I'm licensed in women's and men's hair. So I can do crossing both styles, and long hair happens to be one of my specialties. Just saying.
Okay.
Go both
At our next live show, you'll clean me up, Carrie.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
next
I've been
live
wanting to
we'll
do that.
do it
I'm
live.
wanting to cut hair on camera again.
You do that at the Smokers Club. I'm sure Special love that. Hold
Oh,
on.
you-
Speaking of smoking, can I give you a quick story from this morning?
Please do.
Kerry already knows. So, all right, I had a major win today. So I go to Hensel Gracie Brooklyn this morning.
You got
And,
that. There's the win.
Okay, so I'm about to go in, and I had rolled a joint for after, but I was like, you know what? Let me smoke it now. But I was like right at the door, so I smoked it in like 30 seconds. Right, I wanted to go in the train, so I smoke a whole joint, quick. Fucking smoke that joint, boom. I walk inside, and the high hit me so fucking hard that I start breaking a crazy sweat. So now I'm in the bathroom, I'm fucking crazy sweating. I go in the stall, I'm sitting down, I'm like, oh man, I'm fucking dripping sweat. I got dressed and I had like a thick rash guard. I go on the mat, I go right back in the dressing room, I take the rash guard off, I lay on the fucking floor in the shower.
Oh my!
I change, I come back out, I go lay on the floor for 20 minutes. I lay in the front of Hensel Brooklyn. I'm fucking high as a kite, sweating balls, the room's spinning, I'm fucking tripping out. I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is like the first time I smoke weed. I was like, this is amazing. So I'm sitting in the corner, and this guy Tarzan, he's like, Manimal, you okay? I was like, yeah, bro, I just need 20 minutes. He's like, you want a date? I was like, you want to fucking date me? He's like, no, a date, like a little fruit. You need sugar. I was like, no, I just need to sit here.
You want to date?
I was like, I just need to sit here. So 20 minutes go by. I finally get up. Then I start doing.
You were like,
things.
damn, I'm hungry. Can I get that date?
Yeah, and then I'm like, yo, does anyone want to go get bagels? You know, like, guys, go get bagels. My fucking training was a disaster, but I still got a few rounds in, and I never got my bagel.
Well, what was the
Unfortunate.
there?
What?
What was the win that you made it there? This
No,
time?
that I got the highest I've ever got since I was a kid.
That's a win.
I've been chasing that high for 25 years.
Making it to training, the trains break down and shit, and people jump in front of them. That's a win as well.
One shot.
Oh, that I actually made it to Hensley's? Yeah.
Yes.
So I was
Little
taking
victories,
the train to
little
Henzo's the
victories.
other day. I'm taking the train to Henzo's the other day, and I like to leave early. Make sure I get there. 8:30 in the morning, someone jumps in front of the train. Now, fuck, that's it.
Jesus
45 minutes.
Christ.
I'm in the tunnel.
Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on a surface, storming, but he keeps on forgetting.
Manimal, if you had one joint, where would you smoke it?
That's a great question. If I had one joint, where would I smoke it? Mount Everest. Top of Mount Everest. If I only could smoke one joint, that's it. I have one
That
joint.
sounds like torture.
No, you gotta teleport me there.
Taking
I don't wanna
your
climb
hands
Mount
out to
Everest.
light it, just instantly freezing your fingers off.
If you had the
What-
You
candle,
gotta teleport me there.
Smoke it. Like, won't let-
What about you, Kerry?
Oh, okay. This is gonna sound crazy, but since it's anywhere, I'd like to go back in time and smoke it with Jesus.
All right, I'm into it.
I mean, the
If
Prince
anyone
of,
looks like a pothead, it's him.
the Prince of Peace, the Peace Pipe. You know, I mean, it's the Garden of Whedon. Let's go.
Garden of Whedon. I mean, you could probably smoke the burning bush with Moses.
Yes. Now, that's a very like metaphorical. What could it be? What could it have been? I mean, he could have thought it was a bush. That man was a drunk. No offense.
A lot of wine in the Bible. But yeah, I always think it's weed, but that's just because I'm a pothead. So but my training was okay this morning once I actually sobered up. Oh, I felt like such a bad black belt. I had like a purple belt with me. You know, a guy that like looks up to you as a black belt. And I was fucking so high. We're doing techniques, and he's like, we're in like leg saddle, like doing light locks, and I'm in 50-50. He's like, side saddle. I was like, go fuck yourself. I was like, who's the fucking black belt here?
there's no
Oh,
way
yeah.
Harry knows what side saddle is or 50-50.
Oh, fuck out of here. Give me a little bit of credit.
I've seen your PFL play-by-play.
That's
the guy
right.
is on top.
Hey, I try and mix in the jujitsu terminology there, but they told me don't get super technical with it. They want it to be, more accessible.
Manimal, what would be the hardest word to spell? If he had 1 minute, he has to get out like, how many words do you get out? Like,
In a minute?
Oh,
Depends what
man.
there's to talk.
Those
doesn't it?
articles are usually somewhere around 1,000 words over 15 minutes.
Yeah, so you're looking at 80 to 100 words a minute, right?
what would be the hardest martial arts word? Is it like some judo throw or?
No, probably
That's-
omoplata.
Yeah, omoplata is a tough one.
Omoplata is tough. It's easy when you know how to spell it, but if you
No,
didn't,
the real answer is fighters' names. That's the real answer. 'Cause
Oh my
I've done this shit before where it's like, I'm covering some Bosnian guy with 12 consonants in his last name. I just have to
It's like,
copy and
how did
paste it.
Word. I don't
Right.
know how
I
to
just have
spell
to copy and paste it throughout the whole article, or I know I'm going to spell it wrong 8 different ways.
Literally, I look at some people's names. I'm like, how do you even how does that come out of your mouth and like make any kind of sense? Like it just to
John
me,
Anik's the goat.
those letters don't add up. I don't understand it. Joanna.
Marab's last name took forever to pronounce.
Yeah.
Bully,
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
tough one. And it depends on the language. They have different ways of pronunciation. I'm sure it makes perfect sense when they're like, how many
Oh, yeah.
freaking people are named Smith? Stop it.
I was just thinking Smith. Like they're like, why is that?
How
Or
many
give
fucking blacksmiths were out here? You know how you do last names? A lot of it comes from like the profession or what your father's name was. So the Icelandic tradition, they still do it the Viking way. You are the whatever your name is, son or daughter. of the-
Beneduce.
So no, like if your father's Thor, you're Thor's daughter.
Right. Odin's son.
Odin's son. Yeah, like Thor, Odin's son is
Right.
Odin. Thor's last name is Odin's son. Yeah, so you trace it through the father as
Kerry's lineage is just a bunch of stellar people. Like,
Stellar.
But
No,
I'm
that's not my
pissed.
Like Kerry, what's your dad's name?
Feeney. His last name is Feeney. Dominic.
Oh, what's his first name?
drug
Dominic. My grandfather.
Dominic daughter. is what your last name would be.
Dominic's daughter. It's
Yeah.
it, my,
I am Kerry, Dominic's daughter, right? That's like
that's my Native American name.
no, your Native American name is Dances with Weed.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I forget what Mia said. One of my best friends the other day gave me a good one. We were literally joking around about that 2 days ago. What would our Indian names be?
Oh, well, I think yours is Dances with Weed. Mine is Smokes with Chicks.
Yeah, mine is has bad hips.
Mine is
Has bad hips.
That's bad hips.
Oy vey, my hips.
Yeah, like vault.
Oy, my sciatica. Oh, my sciatica is killing me.
Oh God. So
Why
I know
would
we could sit here and bullshit all night, but I feel like we got plenty of fight news to talk about.
There's a lot of fights coming up. You know what I want to talk about? Can we get Manimal versus someone? I'd love to fight Liver King because I think that guy's a fucking joke.
He doesn't.
That was a beautiful poster, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Harry,
great
you
at
are
it.
quick. That poster was great.
That was fast.
Everyone's asking me. They were like, "Oh my god, you're fighting Liver King?" I was like, "It's a joke."
It looks official. It looks.
It looked legit. It was like for the title of the Beast, right? For the King of
That's
Beast.
right.
It looked official. So I would love to fight Liver King. Let him put his money where his mouth is. In that PFL, you see what PFL is doing. So Jake Paul now is like the head of the PFL super fight division. And they're going to do a fighter revenue share that like the pay-per-view fighters get 50% of the pay-per-view draw, similar to what like other pro sports do. And I love that. And personally, I'd love to get on board with that. Get me a super fight. I'll promote the fuck out of it.
Right.
You know,
And
like
they
I
said, I heard an interview with Don Davis as the president of the PFL the other day, and somebody asked him point blank, like, okay, so this pay-per-view super fight division, is this going to be, you know, the Kayla Harrison Cyborg fights we're trying to make, or are we going to see more kind of like influencer types like Jake Paul fighting and shit like that? And he said that they're open to doing whatever. So it sounds like they're gonna create a bit of a platform for like semi-legitimate, you know, I don't even know what you call it, freak fights, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but
that's what I'm made for, Harry. I'm
absolutely
made for fucking those kind of fights where I could do some showmanship. I'll come out in the leopard print. You know, I mean, if they let me do some showmanship, I'll really show up. You know,
fuck yeah.
I'll come out, forget it. You know, they let Liver King walk
Come
around
out on a leopard.
in his half a wolf head. I'll come out on a leopard. Yeah. I told you what I want to do. I want to come out with 4 girls holding me in a cage, all dressed like different animals, and I'll be inside the fucking cage, and then you let me out and I go into the ring.
It's a good bit.
I'll be in like, you'll carry me on like a litter, and I'll be in a fucking cage, by a fucking cage.
Yo Romero style.
Show up. Huh?
Yo Romero style, biting out the cage.
Yeah, he stole that from me. I did that the week before. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't tell you. All remember, that's yours. Yeah. I wouldn't want to dispute you. All remember on anything.
No, but
That guy's
listen,
a
I mean,
monster.
just talking about the Jake Paul signing, all that stuff with PFL.
Oof.
I think that there's a pretty decent chance we never even see Jake Paul in an MMA fight, whether it's under the PFL banner or somewhere else. But the move pays for itself on headlines alone. It's a smart business decision. Whatever you think of the guy, personally, not a fan. Don't like the shtick, but from a business perspective, for PFL, that move pays for itself on headlines alone.
Just for bringing eyes to PFL now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's free marketing.
I don't know about free, but it's marketing. I'm
No,
sure they
it's
paid
not.
him a pretty penny.
I'm sure they did pay him to sign up, and then
Right.
they'll pay him a percentage after. But yeah, Jake Paul, fuck, get me on that shit. I'll show up. I'll sell fucking hard as hell. Costumes, forget it. I might even sew a new costume. You know what I might do? I might make a robe of all the different animals, and I'll spend 6 months collecting them. So I'm not getting a leopard print. I'm gonna get a leopard. I'm not getting snake skin. I'm gonna have to kill a snake. So we're gonna have to go to the jungles of the Amazon. You know, the training for that fight, the training for this fight's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to go get a snake skin from an anaconda in the jungles of the Amazon. I'm gonna have to go kill a lion in Africa. You know, the Manimal's coming hard for this fight. Can I get a fucking $100,000? Shit, guys. All right.
There we go. Listen, I get this full-time gig with them. I'll see what strings and levers I can pull.
Manimal, can you beat up the guy who just does the
Crazy.
green screen
Huh?
stuff for PFL?
Beat
I
up
don't
who?
get that guy. I don't get it.
Who?
There's
I don't remember his name, but his whole bit is that like he puts a bunch of shit in his pants and makes it look like he's got like a gigantic ass, and then he
that's
just
not
like,
real.
That guy's so annoying.
and then he just does like green screen stuff. I didn't understand it. I looked at his Instagram. The guy had like 600,000 followers somehow. So
You know
maybe
what?
maybe this is
what
me
I'm
being
learning
old
more
man
and more.
screaming from cloud.
I'm going to tell you
Screaming
what
at
I've
cloud.
learned. I'm going to tell you what I've learned more and more. The number of followers doesn't mean as much as the. Kerry will tell you this too. The impressions you get, the shares,
Engagement. That's the important
engagement
thing.
is what's meaningful. Yeah.
For
Like
sure.
sometimes I'll put up a post that doesn't get a lot of likes, but it gets crazy engagement.
Oh my god, my engagement on Twitter is fucking ridiculous, and I have no following. Whatever.
You got a bunch
No,
of creeps.
Literally, I'll reach like look at my insights. It's like 40,000 people. I'm like, I have 200 followers.
Yeah, exactly. Kerry's reach is crazy like that.
Because you know what? Like I put some outlandish shit up, but my comments are comedy gold on fucking Twitter. I get like people will retweet that shit. They love it. My comments are just, I'm savage. I am like, I'll just comment on random shit. Shit I don't even know about. Fuck it.
There you go. If these hiccups don't stop, we're going to have the first live suicide in the history of podcasting.
No, don't even around about that.
I will
We get some
self-immolate on the
engagement, though.
podcast.
Fuck. Get some engagement.
You need some engagement.
Hold
Ah,
on,
yeah.
Harry. I can't pick out the chair yet. Hold on.
God.
we're-
Oh, so I like that Jake Paul's doing that super fight division in PFL. Sign me up. Love to do it.
Yeah.
Also signed to PFL. I saw Sergio Pettis said he'd fight Jake Paul, but I think Jake Paul's angling for a Nate Diaz fight. I agree with you on that, Harry. I don't know if it ever comes to fruition that he actually fights MMA, although I would love to see it.
So would I. I think it would be a fun little
Because he took
experiment.
the time to train now because he knows
He
takes a
did,
long
but look
time
at
to learn
Clarissa Shields. Look at Clarissa Shields last year. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me that she has a much better boxing pedigree than Jake Paul does. Went to Jackson Wink, trained for a year, and got out wrestled by like a mid-tier opponent in Abigail Montez. So it just goes to show you can have all the athleticism, all the skill in the world, but sometimes there's no match for 10 years of wrestling and jujitsu training.
I'm pretty sure he was 5th in Ohio. In state.
I know he wrestled in high school, I think, but I don't know. There's levels. There's
High
levels
school
to this
wrestlers
shit.
grow
Of
on
course.
fucking trees. Come on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't put too much stock into that, but my
Unless
point
you
being that
wrestle-
we've seen better boxers try to transition to MMA and not do it successfully. Now, Clarissa Shields probably doesn't have the money and the resources that Paul has to build a camp and surround himself with, the best and the best of the best in training partners and coaches and nutrition and all of that. But yeah, it's a fun little experiment. I'd like to see what comes of it.
And do you guys like Diaz as a step up? Like, I think it's perfect.
In boxing, theoretically, yeah, he's definitely less washed up than the guys Paul has fought so far. He's not Ben Askren.
Yeah.
And I'm all for Nate Diaz getting a big bag and a big old
I'm
payday.
all for Nate Diaz getting a big bag. And I like
Yeah.
what Jake Paul said. He said he would do one fight boxing, one fight MMA with him, which I like.
Yeah, we're
Right.
bringing
Yeah,
back.
if you're gonna make that offer, make it it's like a home and home in college football. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we schedule you at home this year. We get
We'll
you
do
get to
home
play us at
next.
home
Yeah,
next year.
exactly. So it seems like a fair trade-off. And
I
where's
don't
Nate Diaz
disagree.
doesn't wrestle, so that's a very fair.
no? But if Jake Paul goes to wrestle him, he'll submit him easy.
He's gonna wind up in a triangle in 20 seconds flat.
His guillotine against Tony Ferguson was very nice. And
Absolutely.
Tony Ferguson's a
But,
good
I mean,
black belt.
Listen, Nate's always been legit off of his back. Always.
I don't know why Nate doesn't push the ground game more. He should fucking always be trying to take guys down.
I
He
agree
makes
with
his
that.
fights so far easy.
Especially with his cardio. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
but
Like
he's-
he can
if
just
he had a wrestling
grind guys
heavy-
into the ground.
If he had a more wrestling heavy style and attack submissions off that, he would make his fight so easy. He would take no damage.
Yeah.
He'd be a fucking nightmare. Just saying that pop little style and just keep trying to take a guy down, pull guard, do whatever to take it to the ground. Kind of like Damian Maya with a middle finger. You know, but
Okay.
I love Nate's style. His ground game's amazing.
Talking about black belt ground game. Jake Shields, Mike Jackson. Manimal, you want to set this up? You're about to.
Yeah. So listen.
Recording.
So here's what was, from what I gather, Mike Jackson was talking shit about Jake Shields online, saying he's like a white supremacist and a Nazi and all this shit, because Jake Shields has some conservative opinions. And apparently they got into a confrontation at the UFC PI, and Mike Jackson didn't think anything was going to happen. And Jake Shields just mounted him and was like, you know,
let's talk now,
bitch. Yeah. And he was like, oh, you're a savage. Da, da, da. And you know what? Truthfully, he doesn't know what a savage is, because where I'm from, he could have just disappeared. Mike Jackson. You know, Jake Shields, at least.
It's very funny that Jake Shields' idea of like jumping a guy is like getting side control. That's very funny to me.
It's very funny. His idea of like putting a guy in his place.
Right. It's like, yeah, I'm going to mount you and get side control and throw some like, very soft
right.
grounded.
He didn't try to be, he could have fucking, like, if he really wanted to fuck him up, he could have. But also, little out of place. You're at the UFC PI.
It's like
it's just a dipshit move. Like it's just like I don't know. I just think it's a dipshit move from Shields. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's Bush League shit. You don't walk into
is
a
the Jorge
fucking...
Masvidal thing Covington Bush League?
Truthfully, I can.
Which one? Because I think most of what Masvidal does is Bush
club.
League shit.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's also Bush League nonsense. 100%. So
Like,
so is Masvidal fucking
am,
throwing
Harry.
punches at Leon after that fight. Like, yeah, that's all nonsense to me.
They're saying some crazy shit though, calling him a Nazi in the Mike Jackson case, or talking about his family in the Covington case. It's like, are you surprised it comes back around?
Shields is like I see your point, Manimal, where like, yes, he has conservative opinions. Fine, whatever, do that. But Shields takes it a little bit to the extreme, I would say, with some of his takes.
And I will tell you this. For me, I'm crazy, right? For me to fucking take a dude down that was trying to avoid the fight in the UFC PI, he'd really have to, I don't know what you could say to me. You'd have to touch me for me to do that. I don't know.
Right. Like, bro, there's a cage right next to you. You got a problem? Be like, hey, bro, let's get in. Let's strap the gloves on. Let's spar a little bit.
Let's go. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's exactly. I couldn't imagine.
I respect that. I have respect for that move.
Yeah,
but just
I'd be
running
like,
up
yo.
on somebody with like 4 of your boys around you, like that's coward shit.
I agree with you. If you want to fight a guy, which Jake Shields will fuck him up, I'd be like, listen, you got shit to say. Let's say it now. Come on.
Right.
And then if the guy doesn't want to say it, then I would be like, then shut your fucking mouth online because you don't want to back it up here.
Right,
But-
which is fair. I would respect that, but I
Well,
think it's
here
very
is what he
Bush
said.
League shit.
To make him take him out. But it is Bush League shit. You're a professional.
Right, exactly. You're professionals in a
Mike
professional
Jackson's
setting.
pro.
Like, bro, imagine like we all have. I currently don't have a regular job, but we all have real jobs. Like, imagine going into your fucking workplace and like just starting a fight. Like, that's not how the world works.
Well, it depends where you're from. I mean, I can tell you some stories off air.
Of course, but you know what I mean. In what's supposed to be a quote unquote professional setting, that's just not how you conduct yourself.
And they're at the PI. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
that's
I
what-
understand Jake Shield is the kind of guy that's like,
An
He's done-
idiot. Yeah, he's a dumb guy.
He rolls with that Diaz posse on site. I think he was in the Dan Henderson. Yeah.
Fun fact:
he
Do
was
you
fighting-
guys
he was
remember?
fighting in the-
Do you guys remember the show Bully Beatdown on MTV?
Your boy, Jason Miller.
Jason Mayhem turned out to be the bully.
That's absolutely right. But fun fact: Jake Shield is the only professional fighter to go on that show and lose a round. He lost the kickboxing round to a regular ass schlub,
Oh wow.
I can see that.
which is very fucking funny to me. Very funny to me.
Yo, I've trained with Jake Shields before. I'm going to tell you this. The guy's a fucking nightmare.
I'm sure rolling with him is fucking.
Oh, no,
hell.
rolling with him? Dude, he's a fucking nightmare.
Is
Hell.
he really that good?
I wouldn't listen. He has 3 moves, but god damn it, if you try to stop them, you know what I mean? It's
I
like
fix
mount,
what ain't broke. If it works, it works.
yeah, that mount. It's mount, head and arm choke. If you defend the head and arm choke, he takes your back, and he spams that. He just spams it on repeat, and he's strong and fucking tough. You know, so it took him very far, martial arts wise. But yeah, me personally, Harry, imagine if you said I was a Nazi in that law. I just fucking took you down and started smacking you up.
Yeah, that wouldn't
It
go
would look kinda
great for me.
silly, huh?
Right, it would go great for me, but yeah, it doesn't look good for you either.
It
No.
looks kind of silly for me,
It's
right?
not-
Absolutely.
It's
And
not
that's the other
good,
thing. Mike Jackson is what?
but you would
50
understand why
pounds
it
lighter than Jake Shields?
Wait, what'd you say?
I was saying it's not good, but you would understand why it happened. Like everybody at the gym would be like, "Oh, what is John doing?" Oh,
You
okay.
called him a Nazi. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Sure. But at the end of the day,
And then look
it's
how it
still
looks.
go-
Me,
Right,
beating
it's
up
going
a
to
Jewish
reflect
kid.
poorly on everybody.
make
It
me look like a
reflects
Nazi.
poorly on everybody. Nobody comes away from that situation
Thank
looking
you,
good.
Ike. I got my comedy here. I was trying to do some comedy here, Harry.
My apologies.
If you call me a Nazi and then I beat you up, I just beat up a Jewish kid.
That's tough. You made my point for me.
What you said about me?
I'm glad you lighten it up, John, because I was about to make it darker from the Jake Shields to the Dana White thing.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you know,
Lot of dumb fighters showing their asses online this week, talking about how it's super cool to hit women if they.
I think
like,
it's so sad that I think everything gets written up to the. I think it was the Jake Shields Dan Henderson fight. This is MMA, folks. This is MMA, folks. Like it's just part of the community that like
Even
even
your wife's
the
not allowed.
president can like slap his wife on camera. Like
right. Like, man, I don't give a fuck.
Really?
That, like everyone's like, oh, she slapped him first. She slapped him first.
That's-
If you watch the video, he's clearly grabbing onto her, like keep restraining her, keeping her from leaving. Then she slaps him, and then him being probably 100 pounds heavier than she is,
and on the
smacks her
juice.
back. Right, yeah, and on fucking TRT and HGH and whatever the fuck
Yeah,
else make his
man.
head swell
Well,
up and
yo,
look all
a
venous
slap-
and weird.
Her slap was like a get the fuck away from me slap. He was like,
Yeah,
he-
his
don't
slap had
care-
some
yeah,
fucking malice in it.
he knows how to throw a punch. He's trained in boxing gyms. He's trained people. Yeah, it's many decades.
Cardio kickboxing, baby.
Yes, cardio kickboxing, but he still knows how to throw a punch.
the only time I'm going to tell you this, the only time, not the only time, but the time it's okay if they
Oh.
have a weapon. If your girl has a weapon,
You
you
can't
might
do
have to hit.
You smack the weapon out. I
Listen,
see
yeah,
where you're
we're
going there.
changing the rules of the game here, but yes,
But
Sure,
if
but
it's
straight
just
up,
she
yeah.
smacks you with a nothing, that's your wife. Walk away.
exactly. Or stop
you
holding
walk
on to
away.
her and let her walk away.
You walk
Simple.
away. That's it.
It's almost
I
like
don't-
security like pulled her back and he was standing there like snarling out of his nose, like, yeah, like
Right, and
standing
like,
over his prey. I was like, dude,
and you gotta know in this day and age, you're in a fucking club. There's cameras
a balcony, dude.
everywhere. Like, yeah,
to me.
It
It's like
shouldn't
you
matter.
tell me that you've been outspoken about, men that hit women and
right. That's the one that you don't come back from.
and you're gonna do that in public at a club. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I still can't like wrap my head around like what the fuck, why?
No. And it also makes you
we-
think if that's what's happening in public, then who knows what's going on behind closed doors.
That's what you did in a full club.
But the
Right.
same, right? I said the same exact thing. If you're
Right.
doing what God knows what you're doing at home to that woman.
Right. But it's a great time to start up Dana White's Power Slap League.
the timing of that.
They canceled it right away.
They didn't even cancel it. They just pushed it back a week. They literally just moved it back 1 week. They were
I
like,
thought
we
they
just got to
canceled
give
This
we just got to
is
give this a
MMA.
week and let it cool off and everyone will forget about it and we can do Dana White Wife Power Slap League.
Dude,
You know what's upsetting to me? Dana White's at the club with all his boys.
Nobody stopped him.
None of his boys.
Right. Nobody's smart enough to get in the middle and be like, all right, guys, let's take a deep breath here and let fucking
Even
cooler
No,
heads prevail.
after he smacked her, someone should have got in it. Like, okay, you don't think no one's gonna okay. Then you gotta fucking jump up and be like, whoa.
Right. But I'm sure he's surrounded by fucking sycophants and yes men and guys who are just riding the gravy train.
I don't know. If
Dana
it was-
doesn't strike me as a guy who surrounds himself with people who will constructively criticize him. Dana
What do you
strikes me as a
think?
guy who wants to hear affirmations of his own thoughts.
Hold
That's
on, I got a question. what do you think would have happened if Sarah was there?
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, maybe we get a repeat of Sarah in the casino where he just mounted that guy and waited for the cops to show up.
Imagine
Really?
he
That's his boy, right? Dana's his boy.
I know.
They're friends.
But I'd like to think that Sarah has a pretty strong moral constitution. I'd like to think that he would not stand there and watch a woman be struck and do nothing about it.
You know what? Matt also wouldn't be out at the club though.
That's a good point. Matt would be
That's
at
the
home with
thing,
wife
he's
and
not a-
kids.
Yeah. He wouldn't even be in that scene to be involved in that.
Very
Right?
good point.
But I was thinking of it because I was like, oh, Matt's always around them. I was like, oh, I wonder.
Good question. It's a
That
good
was
question
just
for
it.
Matt, honestly. I'd love to hear Matt's answer to that question.
Yeah, what does Matt think? That's his boy.
have
Yeah.
we
They don't
heard
sound like
anything
boy-
from Endeavor and R. Emanuel? Like
Absolutely not.
Disney?
Nothing from Endeavor.
This is under Disney too.
Exactly. ESPN had a mandate for their reporters not to make any like strong statements one way or the other on it. It's fucking gross.
Oh, really?
Man. It's fucking gross.
Wow, I
yeah,
didn't know
ESPN had a mandate from the top not to cover this story as much as it should be. I mean, could you imagine if Roger Goodell slapped his wife out at a club in public? Like it would be the front page story on every fucking website.
You would
every
have to
every
step
Let me
down.
ask you this. What if Donald Trump slapped his wife in
Oh,
public?
God.
That's another story.
They kill him. They lynch the dude.
the media might.
Oh, the media. And that's what I mean. I mean media coverage.
Fair.
I
So
don't for that.
my big point is that I heard on a radio
It's
station.
conservative base.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like there's a decent part of his base that would be like,
I don't
yeah, whatever,
I
bro.
disagree, but I see what you're saying. And it's funny.
Yeah, listen, it's low hanging fruit, but
Clem, you see that? Yeah, that's my mother.
that's our guy.
Our guy. Show that bitch.
I
Sorry.
don't know. Well, good. You know what? She needs to learn some American way, and she needs to
Right,
get her
yeah.
shit together with her baklava and her Turkish coffee.
Oh man, I can
bro.
really go for some baklava and Turkish coffee now that you
That
mentioned
that sounds delightful.
it. Is that on the menu at your house tonight? Ike?
Yeah.
I have stopped doing coffee after 5 p.m. You know, you got me into it. I did it for a month, like in December. In December when you were like 7 o'clock, guys, let's record it. And I was like, you know what? That looks delicious. And I was like staying up till 2 o'clock. Like,
I'm the same. I can't do coffee after like 6 or 7, or I'm just
Manimal
I'm cooked
slurping
for the night.
freaking iced coffee.
don't know the
I respect
problem.
it.
Yeah, that's your problem, not mine.
Oh, but-
Listen, maybe 15 years from now I'll be an iced coffee at night guy. But for right now, my body can't do it.
Cold
Yeah,
brew.
you,
And Ray Longo can attest to this as well. Cold brew.
Ray's always got the Starbucks cold brew on hand.
It's
That's where me and Ray differ. He's Starbucks. I prefer Dunkin'. Really, I make my
fan of the people.
I have a 45 cup urn. You know, like when you go to like a party and they have like an urn of coffee.
Yes.
I make that every week, and then I ice it at home. So I'll have like one, plastic cup from like Dunkin' in between, and I just keep refilling that.
Very environmentally sound, Manimal.
Oh, I use a plastic cup all week
I
until I fucking break it. I use it.
I
I
think
think you wash it out. That plastic cup is good.
Manimal, did you have the on your board once? It was like not consume coffee. Like, and I saw your.
I went no coffee for
Oh, you actually did go through.
no coffee at all for a month.
Oh,
It was all
God.
Impressive.
You saw God that month.
right. It was fine. After 4 days, it's fine.
After 4 days, I wanted to kill my clients.
No, the fourth day I could have killed someone, but the fifth day I was fine.
That is my drug of choice.
It's the most available drug is sugar. The second
true.
most available drug is caffeine.
I don't know if it's true, but Eddie Bravo says sugar's 8 or 10 times more addictive than cocaine, and
Maybe more.
I believe that.
I actually do believe that.
Yeah, because let me tell you something.
I'm not sure I believe that at face value, but I would believe it's more addictive per se.
Let me ask you something, Harry. What would you rather have right now? An 8-ball or a fucking brownie with
Brownie.
ice cream?
This feels like a trick question.
Oh my god.
Harry's like the cocaine, of course. I have work. to
Yeah,
do.
the fuck. I
Ben
can
and
go get a
Jerry's is
brownie for.
killing
I can go
themselves.
get a brownie for $3, and 8-ball's fucking expensive.
I'll sell that shit.
Yeah, I can sell that 8-ball. I got as many brownies as I want, brother. That's fucking bang.
Comics.
I just Wolf of Wall
You
Street
won't
in
be
your
broke
ass.
for long, Harry. You won't be broke for long. Don't worry.
I fucking hope so.
That's right, brother. You slap your wife and you sell the devil drug.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, you know what I was wondering the other day? All the local drug dealers, now that weed's legal, what the fuck do these guys do?
Hey, listen,
They
I
work
still
at the
got
stores.
I still got a local guy who runs his shit like a fucking business. Like it's like you text him like, "Hey, what's good?" He'll send you back 10 fucking screenshots. He's got a whole menu. He's got
Oh,
it
you
all
know
laid
Harry's the
out
guy
with
that
all
hangs
the-
out with his drug dealer.
with all the shit. Well, back in the day, I had many drug dealer friends I was quite close with. This kid, not so much. This is all business, but yeah, he sends you over a big fucking list. You text him what you want. He says, "All right, driver will be there at this time." The guy always shows up on time. It's fucking easy peasy, brother. Don't even gotta leave my couch.
That's nice.
But
My
I also
local-
have my medical card and can get delivery through medical dispensaries, so that also works.
Ooh, wow.
Well, nice knowing you, Harry. So, take advantage. of it. When we're chilling at your house, I want to just get weed delivered. So
Say less.
when we chill, we're just gonna get weed delivered.
Yeah,
Say
Harry.
less.
when
Get weed
you throw in a
delivered,
house
and then
party.
I got fucking 10 by 10 mats in the garage, Manimal. get some weed delivered, get some rolls in.
Or are we gonna turn your place into a studio, Harry?
We can do whatever the fuck we so please. I know Ike's been hard at work on the Basement Avengers studio, but I got plenty of space.
Oh, Ike, how's the studio?
I have to attach a couch and get one more mic. We're
Is that a
almost there.
casting couch? Would you call that a
Ike,
casting?
if you need help putting that shit together, bro, I got nothing but time these days, man. So hit me up. Let
Oh,
me know.
I
I
need
got you.
actor. I need you, all of you guys, if you want to act. I need some talent for a skit
hate
I
that
want
word,
to do. I
but
want to do a skit series. I don't know if I told you about it. The Adopt a White Belt program.
Okay, I can be the white belt that gets adopted.
Exactly. And then you'll each. So, there's all these hungry white belts just starving for stripes. And for just one stripe a month, a black belt
Oh
can
my
support
God.
a bunch of hungry white belts.
I like
So
this.
we'll adopt a white belt. We'll make a few white belts.
One free trial student a month can sustain a white belt for
The
half a year.
So I want to do first the interview process. I'm going to be like, all right, we want to just know a little bit about you, so we have a good fit.
Let's
Do you
make this
have any
happen,
massage
Manimal. Let's
therapy
talk.
skills? Do you have any massage therapy skills? How's your meal prepping skills? Do you have a commercial driver's license and a valid passport? What does this have to do with jujitsu? You might have to
I
make
like
another Mexico, guys.
Let's talk, Manimal. We're gonna make this happen. I like this idea.
So then, you'll have one of the black belts, so 3 different black belts. So I'll teach the gi class, and they'll be like, "How do you tie your belt?" I'm like, "Come on, guys, just tie a fucking knot in it. The belt is 2 inches to cover your ass. You got to cover the rest. Don't worry about it." Then you'll have one guy who's real anal about like, "No, untie it, retie it. No, wrong.
What about, can we do a no-gi version?
No gi, yeah, no gi, no nothing." So I'm gonna train Kerry, and I'm gonna tell Kerry, "Show up to the gym. We're doing no gi today." And I'll be like, no gi, nothing, naked." Oh, okay. Then she's gonna call in to do a drop in at another school. She's gonna be like, "I'm a 7-stripe white belt. Like, there's only 4 stripes. You gave me 7 stripes." And be like, "When's your no gi class?" And she'll show up naked and be like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "No gi." You're like, "Yeah, no gi, no nothing. That's the way we train."
That's right. That's right.
For only 59 cents a day.
For only 59 cents a day, you can support a white belt. These white belts don't know a berimbolo from a 50-50.
I can see Manimal walking down the street. There's some kid with an apple, a half-eaten apple. Manimal rips it out and he keeps walking and he talks for only 59
But what you're going to
cents.
show, Harry, is like how crazy the black belts are. So I'm
Dude,
gonna have
I've rolled with Sully before. It sucks. I know how bad it sucks.
no, like off the mat. So like one of the black belts will be like an alcoholic. So in their water bottle will just be vodka, and your white belt will be like, I think Mike's an alcoholic. And you smell the bottle and then I'll have another guy that drops the kids off at the gym. Hey guys, I'm
In a
gonna
van.
grab a coffee. Can you just watch my kid? Thanks. I'll be right back. And like 12 hours later, oh, thanks guys, come on. Thanks for watching the kids.
I like this.
I'm
has
in,
legs,
brother.
Manimal. I like this.
I
This
have
has
a
got
whole story.
legs.
I storyboarded some of it out already.
Let's sit down. We'll write some shit.
The tryouts will be funny. But yeah, I want to do a whole adopt a white belt program. It'll be funny. I'm telling you, it'll be good. Then like you'll have the pothead white belt, the pothead black belt. So when his crew comes in, it's just the fucking Cheech and Chong cloud of smoke. You'll go, but I want them to all drop into other schools.
And then we're like, just, do you know how many times I hear, is that you?
What?
When we show up to the gym, how many times I'll hear, is that you? When you're walking past, somebody will ask you if you smell like weed.
I take it as a compliment.
I know, that's what I say. This one girl goes, my boyfriend says it's cannabis for men.
That's the scent. I've been enjoying rolling high. I mean, today I got a little too high to start, but
Oh, I
I've
love
been enjoying training high. Kerry, you only roll high, right?
Yep. I do everything high.
Like, why would I not roll high?
It just chills me out.
Yeah, I guess you're mad aggressive.
Well, I did, like you said, I'm a tiger shark. I'm always attacking.
And you're aggressive high, so yeah, not high. You're a little
Tense. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, a little bitey.
bitey.
Oh,
Will
God.
bite. That's my Indian name.
Trying to think of other notable news stories we've had since we last assembled. The one that comes to mind is a little horrible, but Phil Baroni killing his girlfriend. Not very cool.
Not surprising.
No, not surprising. Not surprising at all, unfortunately. But Jesus Christ, man. It just feels like
And I
this
know him
sport.
from the local scene too.
I know, yeah, he was a
Guy's
New
a
York
fucking
guy.
nut. I mean,
It
you
just feels like from the top down at this point, like the sport has a problem with this shit. You know what I mean?
This
Every-
is MMA, folks.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Phil Baroni, how much juice was that guy on?
Ah.
That guy was already fucking nuts. I don't know. That guy's fucking wild.
I'm sure he's
wasn't-
got mashed potatoes between his ears at this point.
I don't want to hear the CTE excuse.
I'm not
But no, it's
using
not
that
an
as
excuse. It's just
There's plenty of guys who have CTE who don't throw
don't
their
kill
life
them.
into a
Yeah,
shower
I'm
and
just
kill
saying,
them.
but
But he
he's
seems
been
like
a
not
master
necessarily
sport.
the sharpest tool in the shed to begin with. And I'm sure a full career of getting punched in the head probably didn't help. But no, I do not mean that to say like, oh, just write this off as, oh, this is just a crazy guy with CTE doing something horrible.
And he
Not at
wasn't
all.
living
And he's
like
a
a
Mexican
samurai
guy.
lifestyle. They said he was high and drunk at the time of the incident.
Yeah, he was just a dipshit.
I'm sure they were all high. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure they were partying.
It's just
They're
sad,
Mexican.
man. Sad.
It's sad.
And Victoria Lee too, 18 years old. A
Horrible.
lot of sad shit since the last time we spoke. God
Yeah.
damn.
This is MMA, folks.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. And I
Oh,
saw I saw
really-
the Lee family shutting down their whole gym in Hawaii now.
Really?
Yeah,
It's something hard to recover from. I don't know if you can.
absolutely, man. Losing a fucking
Emotionally, it gotta be-
18-year-old daughter, sister, like horrible.
A kid, that's crazy. She was so
And how
young.
can you go to the gym and then remember training with that girl?
Right.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't want to
Because I
step
tell you
foot
what,
back in
even
that
in
place either.
Levittown and and in Huntington and shit, you think about your dead homies. So Levittown especially, I would fucking, see my dead homies over there, especially Gabbert, So, and in Huntington too, but it's a thing, and then that's not our daughter, brother.
Yeah. Hey
Yeah,
man,
so
hopefully
think about that.
hopefully the rest of 2023 is a bit more uplifting, happy in terms of MMA news.
Yeah.
Well, I
That would
already told you I won the day, so that's
be...
There you
made
go. But we got a decent little card this weekend.
This weekend, I like that they put in Sean Strickland.
Yeah, did you guys see that?
I like
Props
Sean
to Strickland
Strickland.
for stepping up. I like Sean Strickland, the character. Sean Strickland, the fighter, is a bit boring for a guy who talks so much about how he's ready to die and this and that and blood and guts. Like he just kind of goes in there and point fights. And like what is going to happen? Write this down, mark it down, whatever. Is Sean Strickland will jab his way to a fairly boring 25-minute decision against Imavov. That's how that fight
Isn't that
goes.
the beautiful thing,
95 times out of 100.
Isn't that the beautiful thing, though, of martial arts, that you have Sean Strickland, this brash, outspoken dude who talked about like his family basically being neo-Nazis and separating himself, and you see him like his best friends, Curtis Jackson, who again very like boisterous guy, but in there they're assassins. Strickland before the Pereira knockout was like the greatest or the most defensive fighter, and he has this like very outspoken style. Like I'm sure John could attest.
Should have been defensive in the Pereira fight.
The beauty,
Hands at his goddamn hips.
That's the beauty of the sport, though, to like spin it forward in a good way. Is that
it's amazing that Sean Strickland was that confident to think that he was gonna just bang fucking with Alex Pereira.
Right. And the guy's got good jujitsu too. He hasn't used it in tough fights, but apparently Sean Strickland has really underrated jujitsu. So I'm sure
that's like my pet peeve when a guy trains jujitsu and never uses it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Said that.
Like
he's like told the guy, he's like, here's the game plan, jujitsu, and then the guy goes out there swinging for the fence.
And doesn't listen to a thing.
Right.
You got it.
And yeah, in his head, he was like, oh, I can stand and bang with like a multiple time glory champion kickboxer with like maybe the deadliest left hook we've ever seen in MMA, and this will just go fine for me. This will be fine.
I'm gonna do good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win this fight. I'm gonna outpoint them. Yeah, okay. Alex Pereira's left hook.
He's sitting there.
Gnarly, man.
Did you guys like the way Izzy handled that? He went on the Andrew Schultz podcast, started drinking and yucking it up, or would you have liked him to have been silent after his trip to New York?
I respected the way that he handled it. I think he handled it as well as you could have. You take your lumps, you move forward, you take it as a learning lesson, you get better. He'll be back. He's still young. Yeah, great fight.
I found it very entertaining. It was more entertaining than I expected it to be.
And I think it was more competitive than people thought it would be. Like I think people talk about that fight like Izzy was completely running away with it before the knockout, but Pereira had a lot of flashes. Pereira looked good at a lot of moments in that fight. He looked better.
I had Izzy winning, but yeah.
I had him up on the scorecards too. I think it was a lot closer than people make it out to be.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was a lot closer on the card than for sure. But like that was a lot closer on the card than the fucking Cannonier fight. Like maybe not the second Bobby Knuckles fight, but like obviously Izzy finished the first one, but I thought that was a very competitive fight with obviously an incredible ending. And yeah, it just sets us up for you couldn't have a more compelling, especially at 185 where we're kind of devoid of like young, exciting, upcoming prospects. Like now we have a compelling, good story up at the top.
And you can rerun it too.
Absolutely.
But
I think
do you think the 185-pound division's in a low right now?
I think it kind of has been for a while now, to be honest. I don't think like
one time that was like crazy deep.
Absolutely, but I think part of that is that Izzy's a very dominant champ, and that makes things tends to make things feel a little bit stagnant, like when nobody's able to separate themselves from the pack. But it just feels like we all got told Edmund Shabazian was the next big thing in 85. Nope, that's just not true. Maybe the Strikers Plus's kid might be something decent. Remains to be seen. Darren Till was the second fucking coming for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like they haven't been able. Darren Till is just not good at MMA, is what happened to Darren Till. If you train with Hamza Chimaev for like 2 fucking years and then go out and just get wrestle fucked by Dricus Duplessis, it's curtains for you, brother. Like it's over.
Yeah, like what the fuck? How do you train wrestling with a guy? Like you train with a guy for 2 years, like a monster. And your wrestling didn't get any better. In fact,
no better.
No better.
No better. I think, listen, I also think the promotion did Till dirty. I think they rushed him along for sure. He should not have gotten that Whitaker fight. I think that, like, if they build him up more slowly and maybe put a little more thought into that whole process, maybe we're looking at a completely different world right now where Darren Till is like a legitimate top 5 contender. But I think they rushed him along. Obviously, the injuries and the knees and shit haven't helped. But I think the days of convincing ourselves Darren Till will one day fight for a middleweight champion are well behind us.
Agreed.
You're lucky to be in the top 10.
Yeah, at this rate, yeah.
Which
But
is
that's the thing. It's like, I also can't. I mean, I guess now you have Bo Nicol, who gives you something interesting. Pereira was a nice, like, fun injection into the division. So now it's got some life. You know what I mean? Now there's some interesting shit going on. But I do think for the last few years, 85.
Paulo Costa is a tough one because he can have, I don't know, his fight with Luke Rockhold. I've never seen two guys more tired since the early UFCs.
Well, making like 40-year-old ghost of Luke Rockhold fight at Elevation in Utah was the stupidest fucking thing that the UFC ever did. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do that?
Costa looked like shit too in that fight. He was tired too.
Two guys with bad cardio, one of whom is well past his prime, and let's have the fight in Salt Lake City at Elevation. Brilliant.
You know what would have been
brilliant.
better? The only thing that you could have made that fight better is Mexico City.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do it in fucking
And they
Denver
would
at
have
Mile
just had
High.
heart attacks and just.
Yeah, fucking Kimbo Slice Dada 5000 style. Yeah,
Yeah, that was funny. Dada 5000 had like a heart attack.
he had like fucking kidney failure in the ring. That was a fucking
Clear.
mess. Yeah, literally. But I don't know, man. It's an exciting year coming up. There's a lot of big shit coming down the pipe.
Card.
Which
Like
remind me, which card is that?
Jamala Hill.
Clever.
I'm pulling for Glover there. I need old man Glover to just get one back.
Jamala Hill too.
That'd be really nice to see.
I was at his first Contender Series fight
Oh no shit.
because Billy Q.
Right. It was him and Billy Q. I know they're boys from that. So Maddie was in the corner.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that was a good week. That's that fucking weekend was great.
Listen, I like Jamal Hill too. I find him fun. I think he's a fun fighter.
Of course, I want to see Glover win. That's my homie.
Right. But also going life and death with the ghost of Thiago Santos does not make me feel very good about his prospects against Glover. Thiago is not the same Thiago Santos that fought John Jones a few years ago.
I told you my theory about fighting John Jones, right?
Well, yeah, that it ruins the rest of your career.
Because you give everything for that fight. You're like, oh, I'm fighting the best fighter in the world. Yeah, it makes you get it up, right? It's like if I told you, listen, Harry, in like 6 months,
Dick pills.
yeah, you're going to go with the hottest chick you ever, like, just your perfect everything. Be ready. You're going to be ready. You know?
Yeah, I'd hope so.
So, yeah.
Be ready. Oh yeah.
And they give their best performance ever in their whole life. And then they do well. So you have the curse of doing pretty good because you went and you gave the performance of a lifetime and you still lost, whatever, against John Jones. And they're like, oh man, I went 5 rounds with the best fighter ever. And after that, they can never get it up again. That's what it's like.
Dom Reyes has been cooked since
Dom
then.
Reyes, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos. Who else has gone 5 rounds with John Jones? And they were like, it was close.
I will say, just to
Over.
play devil's advocate here, DC had plenty of success after the Jones fights.
DC
went on and beat Stipe, like had success
Heavyweight.
after going 5 rounds with Jones.
he had to go to heavyweight.
That's fair. That probably had to happen anyway.
Had
I would
to happen.
also just like to say that I think all of the people who are like people I've seen real people who like I generally respect the opinion of placing their real hard-earned money on John Jones to be the heavyweight champion at the end of 2023 at like plus 252, not even at good odds. We've been hearing about John Jones moving up to heavyweight for, no exaggeration, 10 years.
10 years.
2013. It's been 10 years. So I just think you are the biggest sucker on earth if you are throwing money on that. If you think he comes back and fights, sure, by all means. But to invest fucking money in that's insane to me. I personally don't think we see him fight again, but that's me.
Yeah, I don't know if I see him fighting again either.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd like to.
I mean,
I'd like
he's
to see
a long
him have a-
time, a lot, but like, you know.
I mean,
I
he's
don't
been
know.
out for 3 years, right? Over 3 years.
Right.
Yes.
He's been out over 3 years. He
Long
looks
time. This is a long
and
time.
and like, I mean, Manimal, you have your point about, fighting John Jones has changed these guys' careers, but to play it the other side, his last like 3-4 wins have aged like fucking sour milk in the hot summer sun.
I agree with you on that too. They're lackluster.
Absolutely. It's hard to look at any of those wins and like it's hard to look at the Dom Reyes win and be like, okay, that's you basically split decisioned a guy who washed out of the UFC 2 years later. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should have done a little
But
better.
I told you why I think he washed out.
Sure, fair. And
Because
that's
he
a
was
difference of
looking
opinion.
Because they're all looking like heroes before that.
Right. I'm just saying it's hard to, it's hard to find. I personally think that John Jones might be the most overrated fighter of all times. Incredible skill. His run was incredible, but then you go back and you look at the record and he's fighting a lot of blown up, overinflated middleweights at the back end of their careers. And then you have the second phase of these title defenses where it's the Dom Smiths
Anthony Smith,
the Anthony Smiths and the Dom Reyeses and the Thiago Santoses. And it's really hard to go back and find wins that have aged really well, honestly, other than the 2 DC wins. Maybe Lyoto at the time, he wasn't exactly washed up yet, although again,
Glover.
but Lyoto was a middleweight. Lyoto wasn't a 205er. Glover, I'll give you that one. That's a good one. That's aged well.
That aged well, especially since Glover.
Right, but like Vitor Belfort, like a middleweight at the end of his career who didn't really feel like cutting to 185 anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you should beat that guy. You should beat that guy.
A good argument for John Jones being overrated.
Yeah.
I think so, personally. Like, I think when you stack up his accomplishments to like Mighty Mouse and Habib and some of these other all-time greats, I don't think the resume holds. Even GSP too. Like, sure, he wasn't undefeated, but like avenged his only loss, fought much better competition than Jones fought. Like
at the time, the competition at the time that he fought, I consider it very high quality.
Absolutely. I would put Aldo above him too.
Agreed.
Jose Aldo, fuck. Jose Aldo, one of the best low kickers ever in WEC, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Also very funny that we're starting 2023 with Jose Aldo at the heart of like a major geopolitical scandal. That's very funny to me.
I love it. Bolsonaro is at Jose Aldo's house.
Yeah, like what the fuck? What fucking world do we live in? What world do we live in? Bolsonaro just like wandering around the fucking Publix like you're like lost, demented grandfather. What the fuck is going on?
See, this is why whenever they try to say like Bolsonaro followers are storming the Capitol, if that was you, you'd be there. You wouldn't be at Jose Aldo's house.
Or on the other hand,
if I was looking to take over the Capitol, I'd be there. I wouldn't be fucking.
That's fair, but if I were also a fugitive, of the current government in power, I may not want to be there.
What are you looking to do here? You looking to fucking flee the country or take the country over? You got to pick. You can't do both at the same time.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, Napoleon, when he gets exiled, he has to come back to take it over. You don't fucking take the shit over from the island. Hey guys, do me a favor, go take that shit over for me. Yeah. No, you gotta come here, motherfucker. This requires your attention. So yeah, he's chilling with
I know it's low-hanging fruit and you shouldn't make fun of anybody's health, but Bolsonaro also being hospitalized again within like 3 days of being in the US is very funny. He is the world's most Florida, though. Yes, he is in Florida and he is the world's most hospitalized man. He has been in the fucking hospital. It feels like every time I look at my phone, I am getting a notification that Jair Bolsonaro has been hospitalized with some form of like medieval disease that hasn't been around in like 1,200 years. Yeah, he's got fucking Legionnaire's disease. Like Jair Bolsonaro has leprosy. Sorry, everybody.
He doesn't have COVID 100 times. Like our leader, who's had COVID 18 times and 20 different vaccines.
In fairness, Bolsonaro has also had plenty of COVID. I think he's been in the hospital 3 times for COVID.
Had a vaccine, so
Oh, brother.
Maybe Bolsonaro just wanted to retire in like Boda Vista or something.
Retire to Palm Springs, play some golf.
This is politics.
Mar-a-Lago. Like, what is everybody? Come on, guys. You don't see
Oh,
this.
did I send you the thing? Did I
Huh?
send you the Mar-a-Lago cemetery thing?
Yeah, that's great.
Tax
Oh,
benefits.
that's a good.
'cause he
That's a
buried-
good. That's a good bit.
That's great.
It's good. Smart.
I
I'm
respect
gonna
that
do
move.
it for here. I don't know who I'm burying in my backyard, but I'm open
Do
to
animals count?
Huh?
Do animals count? We'll make
I
it
was
a pet-
about to say, yeah, pet cemetery. Like, could I just bury a dog in my backyard and be like, I don't have to pay property taxes anymore? Because that would be sick.
I got my cats back there.
I'm gonna
No, my-
look into it, Harry. Let's
Hey,
look
we'll
into
do
it, 'cause
we'll
I
do
have a
some
few.
some research.
I'm gonna do some research.
Pretty
'cause
fucking
I'm
thing, really.
genius.
What's that?
Research party.
I wish I would have thought of it. You know what upsets me? That I didn't think of all that clever shit.
Well,
There you go. I will say, I think the only other fight that really intrigues me on the card this week is Charles Johnson and Jimmy Flick.
Nice segue.
Jimmy Flick unretires, had one fight in the UFC, was an absolute barn burner, hit a fucking flying birded triangle, absolutely sick. Decided to retire from MMA for a little bit, felt he wasn't being paid his worth, which I respect. I absolutely respect that. My guess is probably that the bills started piling up and he realized that he didn't have many tangible skills or income streams and decided, well, time to get back to fighting. But I'm very interested to see how he looks after the layoff. There's been a big line movement. It opened Charles Johnson minus like 150. It's up to minus 300 right now. So I guess people are really banking on the ring rust, and Johnson has never been submitted and Flick is mostly a BJJ guy. But I think that's a really interesting stylistic matchup. And I think that there's a lot of value on Jimmy Flick personally.
yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
I'm into it, Harry. Anything else you guys want to hit before we wrap up? Well, this was a long one tonight. Harry,
It was.
Good having you
Good to
back.
be,
in
good to be
action.
back. Good to be back.
That's
Yes.
right.
If anyone is looking for freelance writing or filming or editing work, please hit my pager as I'm currently unemployed. But we're gonna work on that one. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Hey
It's been a
guys, for all
pleasure,
my
pals.
6 listeners, hit us up.
We've passed a couple of thousands for downloads and
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Imagine what happens if we tried.
Right.
Hey, listen, 2023 is the year of trying.
That's right. Year of trying.
It's
No,
the
we're not
year of
We're
trying.
fucking doing.
That's right. I like that even better. 2023 is the year of doing.
That's right. I'm winning the Black Belt World Championships.
Yes,
All right. Harry, you're going to be working for PFL.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were
Harry-
gonna say PF Chanks.
At least going to have a blue belt and hopefully a blue belt world champion.
Yes, sir.
Ike, you're going
Just
to
hanging out, man. I'm the guy on the couch.
Hey, Ike's gonna have some boxing action.
Golden
Yeah.
Gloves.
Something like that. Something.
Golden Gloves champ.
That's right.
I love
That's
you guys. This
absolutely
is
right.
always awesome.
Always a pleasure, pals.
Night.
Right. All right.
Peace.
MMA Avengers, disassemble.
This is